My reaction to RWBY World of Remnant episode 3. So I just finished volume 2 chapter 10 and now I'm going to check this out. So in the previous episode of World of Remnant they talked about the four kingdoms: Vale, Atlas, Mistral and Vacuo. So where each of them are located. Vale is in the center, Atlas is in the north. I think Vacuo is in the west in the same land and Mistral is somewhere in the east. They talked about how they used to go to war with each other, about how most kingdoms have a government party and rely on the citizen to serve them, but kingdoms like Atlas, for example, train their own military to help them out. And that is not uncommon for some people to venture outside the kingdoms. Maybe that's where small towns came from. Because Haven is not a kingdom, and that's where Neptune is from. Maybe it's a small town outside the kingdoms, or it's a town in a kingdom. Maybe not sure which one. So yeah. So they used to be at war with each other, but now they found peace, and they're hoping it stays that way. So now I'm going to watch the next episode of World of Remnant. This is RWBY World of Remnant, episode 3, Grimm. The episode is starting right now. RWBY World of Remnant, Grimm, Grimm. Ooh,
The creatures of Grimm, a ravenous, destructive force that covers the majority of land.
ooh,
While often referred to simply as Grimm in the common vernacular, these
yes,
beings serve as the greatest foe to mankind.
ooh,
For as long as humanity can recall walking the surface of Remnant, so do they remember this immediate
yikes.
force.
Uh-oh.
Many ancient cultures believed the creatures of Grimm to be animals possessed by evil spirits, or perhaps the spirits of tortured animals themselves. However, further study, as well as the discovery of newer, more horrific forms of Grimm,
Yeah,
does not support this hypothesis.
okay.
With new creatures discovered every day, scientists
Oh.
perpetually find themselves with more questions than answers. While very little is known of their origin, some key facts have been observed in the wild.
Nevermore.
First and foremost, the Grimm exclusively attack humans and their creations. While occasional skirmishes between wildlife and Grimm have occurred,
Okay.
these instances appear to be based on territorial provocations
Alright.
rather than a need for sustenance.
So they go.
In fact, the common belief is that the Grimm are not obligated to feed. They choose to. What is perhaps even more unsettling is the basis of their attraction. The
Alright.
creatures of Grimm are lured towards negative emotion.
Ooh.
In the rare instances
Interesting.
when villages are capable of defending against a wave of Grimm, their survival is not guaranteed, as widespread panic will only lead to more attacks.
Yikes.
Little else is known about the creatures of Grimm. Keeping them in captivity has proven to be an understandably difficult task, as the creatures tend to either die or kill those who imprisoned them in the first place. To further
In
complicate
class,
study,
somehow they
the
worked.
corpse of a Grimm will only remain for a short period of time before completely evaporating.
Ah.
Those who hunt the beasts for sport find
They have the
this
mustache?
particularly upsetting, but manage to get by with cheap taxidermic recreations and bombastic stories.
So it's all fake.
Although the creatures of Grimm
You got the
appear,
mustache.
more delicate observation has proven contradictory. It has been noted that while younger Grimm tend to be more reckless,
Yeah.
older Grimm, who have managed to survive their battles, have the tendency to learn from their experience and will exercise caution in
We saw that.
This perverse form of
We saw that.
self-regulation allows the creatures to become more effective killers.
We saw that.
In the end,
Not the killing part.
killing is all that matters.
Yikes.
Oh my god, thank you so much for watching RWBY World Remnant
Alright.
episodes on the new YouTube channel.
Remember to go to RWBY.com for new RWBY content, especially for first members.
Yes, it helps the people making the shows.
Like, subscribe, and smash the bell.
Feel it!
Yeah. 1 second.
Many spirits, or perhaps the spirits of tortured animals, kind. For as long as humanity
I just want to see the
walking
beginning part again. One part is a bit unclear.
this wicked force.
So they have been around for as long as man has been on the world of Remnant. So they've been around for as long as people can remember, basically. Now one last part over here.
Many ancient cultures believed the creatures of Grimm to be animals possessed by evil spirits, or perhaps the spirits of tortured animals themselves. However, further study, as well as the discovery of newer, more horrific forms of Grimm, does not support this hypothesis. The genes between wildlife and
Okay. So they seem to mostly target humans in particular. They don't care much about other animals unless it's to fight for territory. They seem drawn towards human negative emotions. Maybe, I'm not sure, maybe the Death Stalker was towards John's guilt of lying his way into Beacon and for being so scared. I'm not sure what the Nevermore was attracted to. Well, maybe when Ruby cut down the tree, she was just angry at Weiss for treating her like a kid and all that, not treating her as an equal. And that's what made them Nevermore angry, and maybe that's what came after them. Okay, interesting. And so they mentioned earlier, and they also mentioned that some Grimm that managed to survive the battles will learn from them and know how to effectively fight next time. Like they know not to just go become reckless and enter battle just get killed. Just like the herd of elephant Grimm that we saw in chapter 9 last time. They have learned from their past encounters with humans that if they charge in there, they are just going to die. So they're just waiting. They want to strike back, they just need the right time to do so. So they explained that over here too. So that was interesting. So there's very little known about where they came from. So that mystery is still uncracked. I'm not sure if they're going to crack it at all. What else can I say about the Grimm? So yeah, I'm trying to think of all the instances that we can think about. Maybe the Grimm attacked them at the mountain because, well, they said they targeted humans in particular, and that they seem especially drawn to negative emotions. So maybe those are the people they go for first. Maybe they're going for the others because they were not sure. And no, I don't think that's it. Never mind. Maybe they're just going because they were humans. I'll just watch that part, just last part again.
While very little is known of their origin, some key facts have been observed in the wild. First and foremost, the Grimm exclusively attack humans and their creations.
Okay.
While occasional skirmishes.
Humans and their creations. I also one thing I noticed the pattern on the face is similar to the pattern Adam has on his mask. I saw his character design a little while ago. I remember seeing it from the trailer too. That design looks a lot like it.
Obligated to.
It does look a bit like it, the red and all that. I'm not too sure if it's the same or not. Because if it is the same mask, I want to know more about that. I'm not sure when he'll eventually come back to the story, but I know that he does. A bit of a spoiler, I guess. But yeah. So we'll have to find out then why his mask pattern is like that. Because Blake also explained that Adam was more of a mentor to her. Okay, so that's interesting to learn about the Grimm and how they fought and survived for so long. So the younger Grimm tend to charge in recklessly and they get killed, while the older ones who have survived learn from their encounters and know when to strike and when not to strike. But how can they tell when a Grimm is born? Nobody even knows how they're born. So how can they tell if it's a younger Grimm or an older one? Maybe they can tell by the way they act. Well, if they just charge in blindly, then they can tell it's a young Grimm and not a very experienced one. Also, I saw the guy with the mustache over there on the teacher they had. He wants to kill Grimm and have trophies, but the body disintegrates shortly after they're killed. So they can't get any trophies of Grimm. I'm not sure if we saw any of the thing mounted on the wall, but if it is, then it has to be just fabricated just for a story. That's what he does in his class. He just tells the story. I saw the mustache, so I thought it might be the same guy. And I also noticed a couple of guys had just a sword on them. A part of me is thinking maybe those two were John's ancestors, who were all warriors, because his great great grandfather had the same sword that he has right now. So that could be them. That would be awesome. Yeah, and that's about all I have to say. It was cool to know a bit more about the Grimm. Next time I'll go back to Volume 2, Chapter 11, so that I can finish up this season. This was interesting. can't wait to get back to the story. My reaction is now done.